Have you ever found yourself lying in bed at 2 a.m., eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling, wondering why sleep just won't come? You're not alone. In fact, if you're over 70, this might be something you face more often than you'd like to admit. But here's the thing. Insomnia isn't just about a restless night. It's about the toll it takes on your mind, your body, your spirit. And yet, so many seniors are silently struggling with it, thinking it's just part of getting older. But is it really? In this video, we're diving deep into why so many seniors over 70 find it harder to sleep. And I don't mean the occasional restless night. I'm talking about the kind of chronic sleeplessness that creeps in slowly, steals your peace, and leaves you tired, irritable, and not quite yourself. The kind that makes you feel like you're running on empty, even when you've been in bed for 8 hours. We're going to unpack the reasons, some surprising, some frustrating, and some that might just hit close to home. And as we go, I want to hear from you. Right now, in the comments below, tell me, how has your sleep changed in the past 10 years? Do you find it harder to fall asleep, stay asleep, or do you wake up too early? Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to feel a little less alone. And hey, if you're new here or you've been watching but haven't hit that subscribe button, now's the perfect time. Join a growing community of older adults who are sharing wisdom, supporting each other, and learning how to live these years with more peace and purpose. Now let's begin. Why is it that, for so many of us over 70, peaceful sleep becomes such a struggle? Let's look at the first reason. Just let me know when you're ready. Number 1. The weight of memories. Let me tell you a story. George is 74. He lost his wife 3 years ago. They were married for 48 years. Every night, he climbs into a bed that suddenly feels too big. The pillow beside him stays untouched. And as the house grows quiet, the memories grow louder. He lies there, eyes open, replaying old conversations, old laughter, old regrets. Sleep doesn't come easy for George anymore. Not because he isn't tired, but because his heart is heavy, and he's not the only one. You see, as we age, we carry more memories, more loss, more reflection. We've lived full lives, full of love, joy, but also pain. And when the lights go out, the mind turns on. It starts replaying everything. The people we miss, the words we wish we'd said, the moments we wish we could relive or take back. This emotional weight doesn't just affect how we feel. It directly affects how we sleep. Studies have shown that grief, unresolved emotions, and chronic loneliness are closely linked to sleep disorders in older adults. Our minds become restless. Our nervous system stays alert, even when we want to rest. And the result? We toss and turn, night after night, wondering why rest feels so out of reach. What about you? Have you noticed that certain memories come back more vividly at night? Or that your thoughts get louder when the world gets quieter? Share your experience in the comments. Let's open up this conversation, because someone else out there might be feeling the same thing and needs to know they're not alone. And if you haven't already, now's a good time to hit that like button. It helps more seniors find this content and reminds YouTube that these topics matter. Ready for the next reason sleep becomes such a battle after 70? Let me know and I'll continue. Number 2. A night in your shoes. Imagine this. It's 11 p.m. You've had a long day, maybe a walk in the garden, a chat with the grandkids over the phone, a simple dinner. You get ready for bed, brush your teeth, settle in under the covers. You turn off the light. And then nothing. You wait. You shift. You close your eyes tighter. You think about counting sheep, but even they seem to have dozed off somewhere else. Minutes feel like hours. You glance at the clock. It's 12:18 a.m. Still wide awake. Then 2:07. Then 3:43. At some point, you finally drift off, only to wake up at 5 a.m., completely drained. This isn't just a bad night. For many seniors, this is the norm. What makes it worse? Everyone else seems to sleep just fine. Your spouse snores beside you. The neighbors go on early morning walks, cheerful and well-rested. And you wonder, what's wrong with me? The truth is, it's not just in your head. As we get older, our internal clock, the body's natural rhythm, starts to shift. It's called the circadian rhythm, and after 70, it often becomes less synchronized. You may feel sleepy earlier in the evening and wake up too early in the morning. And unfortunately, even when you're in bed, the depth of your sleep changes. Seniors spend less time in the deep, restorative stages of sleep and more time in lighter, fragmented ones. So even if you're in bed for 8 hours, your body might only be getting the rest it needs for 4. And that constant cycle of trying, failing, and waking up still tired can become its own kind of exhaustion. Does this sound familiar to you? Drop a comment and let me know how your nights usually go. Do you find yourself waking up too early or struggling to fall asleep in the first place? Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. There's more wisdom ahead, and the next reason might surprise you. Just say the word when you're ready for part 3. Number 3, the hidden impact of medications. Here's something that might surprise you. Did you know that over 80% of people over the age of 65 in the US take at least one prescription medication daily, and nearly half take 5 or more? That's not just a number. That's millions of seniors unknowingly disrupting their sleep every single night, one little pill at a time. Let's break that down. Many common medications, especially those prescribed for high blood pressure, arthritis, heart disease, or depression, come with a sneaky side effect: insomnia. Beta blockers, for instance, often reduce melatonin production, the hormone that signals your brain it's time to sleep. Diuretics, frequently prescribed for hypertension or heart failure, increase nighttime urination, meaning more bathroom trips in the dark and less uninterrupted rest. Even medications for allergies or reflux can cause restlessness or vivid dreams that jolt you awake. The problem is, these medications are necessary. You take them because your doctor says you need to, but the impact they have on your sleep, that part is often overlooked. And it's not just prescriptions. Over-the-counter drugs, like painkillers with caffeine or certain cold medicines, can quietly chip away at your rest without you even realizing it. So you lie in bed, frustrated. You've tried warm milk, soft music, even meditation, but none of it seems to work. Because the root of the problem might not be in your routine, it might be in your medicine cabinet. If you're starting to wonder whether your medications could be affecting your sleep, bring it up with your doctor. Don't stop taking anything on your own, but don't stay silent either. Ask questions. Push for answers. Because your sleep is worth protecting. Have you ever noticed a change in your sleep after starting a new medication? Or maybe you found a helpful adjustment that improved your rest. Share your experience in the comments. It could be the insight someone else has been searching for. And if this made you think twice about those tiny pills on your nightstand, hit that like button to let me know. Ready for the next reason sleep slips away after 70? Tell me, and we'll keep going. Number 4, when the body betrays the clock. Let's talk science for a moment. But don't worry, I'll keep it simple. Inside every one of us is a master clock. It's a bundle of about 20,000 neurons in your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN for short. This tiny cluster controls your circadian rhythm, the natural cycle that tells your body when to wake up, when to eat, and most importantly, when to sleep. When we're young, this internal clock runs like a well-oiled machine. But as we age, it starts to lose precision. Like an old grandfather clock that ticks too slowly or too fast, our rhythm gets thrown off. The body may start sending sleep signals earlier in the evening, leading to what some call advanced sleep phase syndrome. That's why you might feel sleepy at 7 p.m., then find yourself wide awake at 3 a.m., staring at the wall, completely alert. But it gets more complicated. Light, especially natural daylight, plays a critical role in regulating this rhythm. As we age, we often spend less time outdoors. Some of us have eye conditions like cataracts or macular degeneration that reduce the amount of light our brain actually processes. Without enough light exposure, our internal clock loses its anchor. It can't tell the difference between day and night as clearly, and the result? Irregular sleep patterns, light sleeping, and a body that feels out of sync. Even your body temperature, which should drop slightly to help you fall asleep, doesn't regulate as well with age. Add in lower melatonin levels, which naturally decline over time, and you've got the perfect storm for chronic insomnia. It's not just about how tired you feel. It's about how your biology has changed, silently, gradually, making sleep more elusive. Now let me ask you, have you noticed yourself getting sleepy earlier in the evening than you used to? Or waking up before the sun without an alarm? Drop a comment and let me know how your body clock has shifted. You're not imagining it. Your biology really is changing. And hey, if you're finding this information helpful, hit that subscribe button. There's more to come, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. Just let me know when you're ready to move on to the next reason. Number 5. The lonely silence of the night. Let's do a little comparison. Picture this. A young parent finally gets the kids to bed. The house is quiet. Dishes are done. Maybe they have a glass of wine or watch a show before heading to bed, exhausted. They fall asleep in minutes, wrapped in the noise and busyness of the day. Now picture someone in their 70s, living alone. The day winds down. Dinner is for one. No one calls. The television fills the silence, but once it's off, the quiet is loud. The clock ticks. The fridge hums. And there, in the hush of night, the mind starts to wander. That's the difference. It's not just about age. It's about life around you, or rather, the lack of it. You see, social isolation and loneliness aren't just emotional experiences, they're biological stressors. When we lack human connection, our brain perceives it as a threat. Cortisol, the stress hormone, rises. Anxiety creeps in. And even if you don't feel stressed in the traditional sense, your body carries the tension. And that tension? It's a thief. It steals your sleep night after night. In fact, research from the University of Chicago found that people who feel socially isolated experience more fragmented sleep, waking up more often and spending less time in the deep, healing stages. Not because they're sad, but because their nervous system is on guard, even in bed. It's one of the most heartbreaking ironies of aging. The more we lose connection, the harder it becomes to rest. But here's the good news. Connection doesn't have to mean a house full of people. A phone call, a neighborly chat, joining a local group, or even leaving a comment here. These small acts can remind your brain that you are not alone, that you are safe, and that it's okay to rest. So let me ask you, how has your social life changed over the years? Do you find the nights feel longer when the days feel lonelier? Share your thoughts in the comments. You might find someone who understands exactly what you're feeling. And if you haven't yet, click like to let me know this message resonated with you. And subscribe so we can keep having honest conversations like this. We've got one more important reason to cover. When you're ready, I'll continue with our final insight. Number 6. The vicious cycle of daytime fatigue. Here's the trap no one warns you about. You had a rough night. Maybe you only slept 4 hours. You're dragging through the morning, can't focus, can't think clearly. By afternoon, the couch starts calling your name. So you sit down, and before you know it, you've dozed off. Just a little nap, you tell yourself. But then, nighttime rolls around again, and surprise, you're not tired. You lie in bed, restless, eyes wide open, wondering why your body won't shut down. And so, the cycle continues. This is one of the most frustrating sleep problems seniors face, the sleep fatigue loop. You're tired during the day because you didn't sleep well. But because you're tired, you nap, and that nap, while it feels good in the moment, makes it harder to fall asleep at night. So you end up even more exhausted the next day, and the cycle deepens. But there's more to it. As we age, our bodies naturally produce less melatonin, the hormone that helps us fall asleep. We also become more sensitive to changes in our routine. A short nap that wouldn't have mattered at 30 might now completely disrupt your sleep at 75. And when you're retired, with fewer structured activities, it's easy to fall into irregular patterns, sleeping in late, dozing off mid-morning, resting again in the evening, until your body has no idea when it's actually supposed to be sleeping. The result? Chronic sleep disruption that drains your energy, affects your mood, and even impacts your memory and balance. But here's the catch. You can fix it. By creating a consistent routine, limiting daytime naps to 20 to 30 minutes, and staying active during the day, even with light movement, you can slowly teach your body when it's time to rest and when it's time to rise. So tell me in the comments, do you find yourself napping more often now than you used to? Has it helped or hurt your nighttime sleep? Let's talk about it. And if this hit home, don't forget to click like and subscribe. These conversations matter, and your experience might be the key someone else has been looking for. Now, let's bring it all together. Ready for the conclusion? Just say the word. So here we are. We've uncovered 6 powerful and deeply personal reasons why so many seniors over 70 struggle with insomnia. And as we've seen, it's not just about age. It's about memories that don't fade, bodies that change, clocks that drift, pills we trust, silence that aches, and patterns that trap us. If any of this felt familiar to you, if you saw yourself in George's story or nodded along when we talked about those long, lonely nights, know this: you're not alone. And more importantly, it doesn't have to stay this way. Understanding why sleep becomes harder is the first step toward healing it. Maybe it starts with asking your doctor about your meds. Maybe it's pushing yourself to take that walk at 10 a.m. to catch some sunlight. Maybe it's finally setting a bedtime and sticking to it. Or maybe it's as simple as talking to someone about what's been keeping you up. Because sleep isn't just rest. It's your body's way of healing, of recovering, of protecting your mind, your memory, your mood. You deserve that healing every single night. So before you go, leave a comment below. Tell me, which part of today's video spoke to you the most? What's your sleep story? And if you found something that helps, no matter how small, share it. You never know who you might be helping. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. Join a growing community of older adults who are ready to speak honestly, live fully, and rest deeply. Until next time, take care of yourself. You've earned it.